All the creators and artists who I love have something in common, and that is a style. Disney has a style, Miyazaki has a style, Tarantino has a style, and Spielberg has a style. The online dictionaries describe style as a way of doing something. The way you do it, the way I do it, or the way Tarantino does it. The thing is, how do you find that way? Over the years, I've developed my own way of drawing, something that's sort of unique to me, a style which I use to communicate with the world. And I want to share a thing or two when it comes to that process of finding your style in this episode. Alright, so the first thing that you want to do when it comes to finding your style is to find your elements. A style can be looked at as a combination of individual elements that you sort of put together, and each component radically affects your end outcome. Now, what do I mean by elements? Well, let me explain. Take my style for example. My style has different elements, such as one being cartoony, which is heavily inspired by the 90s, and use of bold line works and bright colors, which is done using a specific process that I use called the 3-step coloring method, which radically affects my end outcome, say, compared to other things. Another element which I use is the abstractual representations of the way I draw things and the ideas that I create and lean towards. These are the elements that I use and that makes up my style, and these are some things that I've gathered over the years. So this is what you can do actually, sit down, take a piece of paper and gather your elements. But this is just like a face level trick. You need to go a step beyond this and do something else, which is to find your tribe. One of the things that helped me so much in my process of finding my style was to find my tribe of artists. A tribe is a community, your community of selected artists that you and your work want to be a part of. One thing you can do is pick 3 to 5 artists who you're really inspired by and study them. Learn from them, take their courses, watch their tutorials, follow their Instagram posts, and worship them. Yes, worship them. This tribe is a focused group of creators you take inspiration from. So if you were to make something, your work should easily fit into this tribe. And this is the lead point. This is where you go from. Another way I create my tribe is to create inspiration folders. I use a save feature on Instagram to save some of the works that captures my eye on my feed and go through it to get a big picture of the kind of art that I want to make. And this entire library is my style, my tribe, my community of artists who I want to be a part of. So once you found your tribe, the next thing you want to do is copy them. Yes, copy them. So when I say copy from other artists, what I mean is copy to learn, not to plagiarize. Difference. You don't just take someone's work, put your name on it, post it on Instagram and get 2,474 likes. It was very specific. Anyways, yeah, you don't do that. You copy to learn from other artists, to study them, not to just steal their work. And most people have a problem with sort of copying. They feel icky when you say like copy and stuff like that. And it's completely okay to copy other people's work. Now think about it. If you were to learn to play the piano, you don't just go in the first day, compose your own original song and learn to play the piano with that song. The teacher will be like, the hell are you playing? You learn by playing the works of people who came before you, who made great compositions. You play them, you learn from them, and you improve on them, and then you make your own compositions. And the same thing applies to art. You copy from other artists and learn to speak in their voice, because you don't have a voice of your own at first. Then eventually, through the process of speaking the voices of those who inspire you, you will find your own voice. And if you're still not sold on copying, here's a quote from Francis Ford Coppola, the director of Godfather. We want you to take from us. We want you at first to steal. Okay, I'm not going to do the Godfather accents. We want you to take from us. We want you at first to steal from us, because you can't steal. You will take what we give you and you will put it in your own voice. And that's how you will find your voice. And that's how you begin. And then one day, someone will steal from you. Speaking of stealing, that's my next point. Steal like an artist, not like a thief. You must have heard of the saying, good artists copy and great artists steal. To steal like an artist means to steal the philosophy of something rather than the actual work itself. You steal the underlying thinking rather than the tactic. For example, I have stolen the act of using Lineworks in my illustration from the 90s cartoons, and specifically using this particular tool called the brush pen for my works from the works of Bill Watterson, Scotty Young, and Jake Parker. And the underlying philosophy behind it is clarity. The Lineworks, for me at least, gives me a certain sense of clarity to my drawings that the lineless art cannot. And that's the philosophy right there. That's what I've stolen. And you shouldn't just steal from artists, you should also steal from life itself. I stole the idea of drawing full black eyes for my illustrations from cows actually, cows that lay on my street. I saw them and thought they were really cute, and I was like, man, I should include that in my works. So that's what I did. You do that with multiple other artists and multiple different sources of inspiration from life and other things, and you put all those things together and you have this little package with you, and that will be your style. But that thing is not complete without the final ingredient, and that is you. A lot of thing about style is actually you building it rather than finding it. But there's this little finding component to your stylistic process, a process where you discover yourself, become aware of who you are, what you like, and what makes you tick. You need to sit down, get a piece of paper, and draw. Draw your emotions, draw your feelings, draw your experiences, draw who you are. And through that process, you will discover who you are, what you like, and what you don't. And knowing that about yourself and inserting that particular version of you into your art is what that separates the good artists from the greats. And doing all these things is how you find your style. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share in this thing, mini movie, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I think that's how we're gonna cut it. And see. Alrighty, thank you for watching this video, and if you liked it, you can drop a comment down below sharing your thoughts. And also, if you want to learn from me, you can check out my online courses. Those are also down below. And if you want to know more about my stylistic process, I've made 2 other videos called Stop Trying to Find Your Style and How I've Found My Style. Sort of like my elaborate thought on style and finding style and how important it is or how less important it is. And yeah, you can check those things out to get more value out of this channel. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week. Yes, next week. Bye-bye.